Harry, you will jump aboard what looks to be a rather interesting sprinter on Saturday. Call me Teddy for Michael Chang. You're probably well placed to assess his form because the majority of it comes from Ireland and the UK.
Yeah, that's right. I've had a look at his Irish and English form, and yeah, I mean, I'm obviously very encouraged by what I've seen. He's aimed at some very good races actually. So clearly, Aidan thought plenty of him, and he won the Doncaster Stakes listed, which is a listed race, and he looked pretty impressive. I think my only concern is that all of his form seems to be on either soft or heavy ground. I know he's run on good a couple of times, so the fact that he's obviously going to run on much quicker than that on Saturday is a little bit of a concern, but hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. I mean, I have trialled him twice now on the turf, and he seems absolutely fine. So I don't think it should be too much of a problem.
We'll come back to his form again just in a little while, but just on those trials, Harry, he's only had a couple. Has he been an easy horse to come to hand? And also, what have you made of those trials?
Yeah, I've been very encouraged from what I've seen so far. He's quite straightforward. Certainly shows plenty of speed. I know he's probably absolutely fine for 1200, but he still has got enough speed for this 1000 meters. And I've been very encouraged from the feeling he's given me during the trials. He travels extremely well, and he's been finishing strongly. And I know Michael Chang's been very happy with how he's training at home.
He's obviously going back to his form. He's a listed winner of the Doncaster Stakes. He's also run very well on Polytrack latterly. But I mean, he was second in an Anglesey, fourth in a Norfolk at Royal Ascot, and fourth in a Breeders' Cup. I mean, yeah, I know he hasn't won them, but that's a very, very good form.
It is, and it should stand him in very good stead on Saturday. You know, those are top class races, and as I said before, Aidan's clearly thought plenty of him to even send him to the US to run in the Breeders' Cup, and for him to have run a fourth amongst 14 other competitors, you know, it's no mean feat, and that should be very strong form to bring in.
And just for you, Harry, on the straight course here at Shartin, you're drawn in gate number 3. From a jockey's point of view and a general sort of overview, is that slightly the wrong side to be, or is it always more favourable being up against that stand side rail?
Yeah, I think ideally I'd probably want to be closer to the rail. You can be caught slightly in no man's land from a draw like 3 when you just end up in the middle of the track. So it's not ideal. I'll be looking for a little bit of cover. So if I can just edge across to the left and follow something into the race, that will be plan A, I expect. But yeah, going back to your question, I think it definitely helps to be closer to the stand side rail. But we have seen horses win from in the middle, so it's not disastrous.
Zach packing Treadmill made a rather pleasing impression on debut when winning on good to yielding ground. Was that expected on debut, or did that take you and the connections a little bit by surprise?
Well, I'd never been on him before, so I didn't really have much of an impression going into that race. But I think he did take them a little bit by surprise. His trials in Trongfar, they were okay, but they were nothing flash. And then you don't know what you're going to expect on a good to yielding track either, or a yielding track as it ended up that day. It's going to be a completely different surface this time. But he's a very relaxed horse. He sort of doesn't really do anything in the morning. So I can see why he wouldn't have given the stable much confidence going into that race, but he performed well. He did a little bit wrong. He did a little bit right, but he got the result. And I think he can continue to improve as time goes on.
And I guess just assessing the race, Zach, I mean, obviously it's perhaps a key attribute. You say that he is quite a relaxed horse. He seemed that the pennies seemed to just drop with him late, and for all it was all a very close finish, he did do some very good work late, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I was held up on straightening and I had to come out across heels, but when the gap was there, he took as he got down towards the line, he got a bit tired and wanted to drift in a little bit. So needs to work out his racing manners a little bit better, but it was good that he got the win on the board. And like I said, I think there's a little bit more there.
And you didn't have much to do with him beforehand, I know, but since then, have you managed to have a assist on him? How's he felt coming out of the race?
Yeah, I've been on him a few times in work, and as I mentioned, he's a very laid back customer. He doesn't do anything flash in the mornings. He doesn't go out there to break any records or do any more than he has to do. But his action's good. He's been pulling up quite well. So he's in good order. And we just got to hope that we can get a nice run. Obviously, it's an awkward gate, so we need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, the gate obviously a tad awkward there in 9, as you say, and just the extra £5 as well. I mean, that's obviously natural with the fact that he did win. The handicap is going to penalise him, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. But the positive out of it is he's had that start now, and he would have learned a little bit from the run, and fitness-wise, hopefully he's come on a little bit as well. So he should be able to offset that and just try and get a nice run on him.
Zach Hocking Prawn has been a wonderful horse for you and his connections down through the years. An excellent run last time behind Stronger in the Group 1, and he lines up this weekend.
Yeah, it was a good run. Obviously didn't have much luck there on straightening, and took a while till he was able to come out and get into his rhythm. He should have won that race, so the horse is going really well. He's trialled good again since. The bad gate is not going to help us here in this race. There's a fair bit of pressure and speed in it as well, so it's a really, really difficult gate for us, and we have top weight in a handicap, so it's going to be hard. He's up against it, but he's honest. He's going to give his best, and he's obviously capable if things go well.
Actually, exactly that. I mean, obviously he's certainly up against it a bit on paper with what he's got against him. But just on the horse himself, Zach, you know him extremely well. You've never been worse than third. 6 wins on the back of this guy. Talk us through his recent trials. I mean, he's trialled up, as you say, really well.
Yeah, he's a real dude in the mornings. He has been right from day one. He is a pleasure to do anything with. He just lobs around to the gate, stands there, bounces, travels, does everything that you want him to do, and so always nice getting on his back. So he's been like that since he's a 2-year-old, and he's still the same horse now.
Do you think as a 7-year-old, he clearly does retain plenty of ability, but I guess with the nature of the program, perhaps there aren't too many options for him, hence why he's here. But do you feel as a 7-year-old, he's still got it in the legs to certainly give 1 or 2 of these younger horses a shake?
Yeah, I think he showed that last time. He obviously, like I said, he should have won that race, so he certainly got it. It's just a matter of, John just gets him to peak at the right times in the right races, and he's in good form. He's just up against it with the way this race is handicapped and going to be run.
He certainly is a good horse. We'd love to see him run well, obviously. And just winding the clock back a few days, Zach, obviously he's a top-line sprinter, a Group 1 sprinter. You rode what potentially could be a group-winning sprinter at Happy Valley. Just talk us through the performance there of Nervous Witness once again, because visually he was devastating.
Yeah, he's that type of horse. He's obviously got a lot of ability, and when he gets things to suit him, the circumstances to suit him, and he's full of confidence, he just continues to run, and he did that. He won the race at the start. He got out of the gates really, really well, and basically pinched a 2-length lead from the time the gates opened, and that just really played into his hands. He rolled around there nicely and did a good job, but that was an extended band Class 3 race. It's a long way from competing against group horses, so we're not going to put the cart before the horse again. We've done that once before. We'll let him come through the grades and show us if he's good enough in time.
Yeah, it was good to see him bounce back. As you say, he's had 1 or 2 people probably write him off far too soon. And just on the evening as a whole, Zach, obviously consolidating what is a decent enough lead up at the top of the Jockeys Championship. Another good day or good evening around the Valley.
Yeah, Happy Valley's been good to me recently. Have had a bit of luck there, which has been good. Shartin, I could probably get some stronger rides. I need to get a little bit more depth to the books I've had there. It'd be nice if I could balance it out and have just about as much luck as Shartin as well. And I'm going to need to, because I've seen Joe riding a lot of really nice PPGs in the mornings for Founds, Law and Size that are going to give him a lot of free winners. So he's going to get on his bike soon and obviously get out after me. And those free winners soon add up. So I need to try and find some myself, but things are going all right at the moment. Just got to get things to go a little bit better.
Harry, Perfect Pair has been a willing partner for you in a couple of starts recently. He's getting closer to a win, and on the back of that performance last time, you'd have to hope he can go close this weekend.
Yeah, certainly. He's been extremely consistent his last 3 runs, and just keeps bumping into some very good horses. Obviously, a third behind Romantic Warrior and Lucky With You is very strong form. and his second behind Beauty Live last time, and as another horse which is going places. So clearly he's doing something right, and he's given me all the right feels. So I'm bringing some very good form into the race, and feel like I'm striking up a good partnership with the horse. There looks to be plenty of pace, which I think is going to suit him, because the last couple of runs, that's exactly what's happened, and he seems to relax. And if I can get him into a nice position from my draw, then we'll be going in with a very live chance.
It's interesting that you mentioned the pace. Obviously, I wanted to ask you about that. There is a stack of it on paper in this race. You rode him a little bit closer last time. Would there be no fear in perhaps taking him back that little bit if needs be?
Yeah, I think from a draw like 8, we can afford to be probably mid-pack. There is a lot of pace, a couple from around me, and I think in draw 1 as well from Sky Supreme. So that's going to help my chances. I think he's very, very straightforward as far as riding him is concerned. And the strong pace helps him stamina-wise. I think he gets every yard of this distance. And if I can slot him in somewhere mid-pack from that draw, then I'd be very happy.
Yeah, as you say, he's a 3-time course and distance winner, so knows his way around. On paper and on the horse's back, he will carry an extra £6. But when you delve a little bit deeper, the highest rated horse in this is only 73, up to obviously a 60 to 80. So in some respects, you're in a slightly lesser race than last time.
Yeah, I'd agree. As I mentioned previously, he's come across some very smart horses in his last couple of runs, and this looks to be a slightly weaker race. So I think, even though he's up a few pounds, I think he'll show a very good performance, and I think he can be very competitive against these sorts.